you could be so much happier than you are right now. You could have so much more confidence than you have right now. But self-doubt gets in the way. Fear of failure gets in the way. Your fear of rejection gets in the way. Your fear of judgment by other people get in the way. And it's not just you, it's all of us. It's inherent in us. Like nobody wants to fail in front of the people that we care about. But when in reality, those fears aren't even real. They're our own perceptions of what we think it's going to be. But in fact, it's not our reality. When I was at my worst overcoming my problems, my struggle with an alcohol addiction and ultimately led to depression and anxiety, it affected so many areas of my life, business, relationship, health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, all of that. And you just get in that comfort zone and you think like, well, this is just my reality. This is my life. This is who I am, what I am, where I am. When in reality, it's not. And it's not where we want to stay. It's not where we want to go. It's not how we want to live the rest of our lives. But for some reason, we stay where we are because it's what we know. But when in reality, we know that a few small steps in a direction can completely change the trajectory of our life, but yet we don't do it because of that fear of failure. So I'm here to give you a 5-step process that I used to get out of that, to break that funk, to get out of that space that I didn't want to be and start moving in the direction to build the life that I ultimately want to live. Number 1, honest conversation with yourself. You have to reflect and take inventory of your current status, and you have to become self-aware. What is your reality? You may not like it, but you have to identify what is your reality. Number 2, you have to accept it. You have to accept that that is your reality, whether you like it or not. So we know what the problem is, and we accept it that that is the problem. The 3rd step, this is the important one. You have to decide. You have to make a decision. Do I want to stay the way I am, or do I want to move forward and create a different life? Now, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it unless you're happy staying where you're at. And if you're watching this, I'm guessing that you're not. So once you decide, you make that decision of a better life, well, now you have to take an action step. You don't have to figure out all the pieces. You don't have to, map the entire thing out. You figure out the general direction that you want to go, a simple change that you want to make, and you just take your first step in that direction. Once you do that, then you take your next, and you will begin to create momentum. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, you have to make that decision, then you take action. Once you start to take action, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because sometimes when you're going and you have a destination, it's not just a straight line. Sometimes think of it like a skier going down a slope, right? You're at the top, you want to get to the bottom, but as you're going down, sometimes you have to pivot, you have to move, you have to go around a tree or a snowbank or a mogul or something, but you keep your eye on the finish line where you want to go, but you also have to navigate the obstacles that are coming up in front of you. And the easiest way to handle that is step 5, is institute a system of accountability. Now, maybe that's something that you do from a journal standpoint, or you write it down standpoint, or you get an accountability partner, somebody that maybe you do it together with, or a family member, or a loved one, or a coworker, and somebody that you can check in, once a day, once a week, whatever your path might be. But if you get that accountability piece, it makes it so much easier, because if you share your vision, you share your goals with other people and they know what you're trying to accomplish, well, then it's easier for them to point something out. If you're trying to lose weight and they see you, eating something, they'll say, hey, you told me to tell you, don't eat the chocolate cake, or hey, you haven't exercised in 3 days. So somebody maybe to hold you accountable. And it's got to be somebody that you're okay with being a little bit tough on you, because it's not always going to be nice. If you truly want to be held accountable, then you have to be willing to get some pushback from the people that you're asking to do it. So lack of self-confidence, or unhappiness, or feeling unfulfilled, that's not how you have to be. Simple approaches can change that. That might be who you have, that might be how you've been experiencing life, but that's not how you have to live your life. So take those 5 steps. Take your first step today, even in the smallest direction, and I promise tomorrow will be better than it was today.